Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl Kia. So I have to do this video really quickly, but I really want to talk about this because there's so many nuances to this Todd Tucker and Kandi Burruss situation, and I feel so bad for both of them, but mainly the children. And listen, the reason why I feel like everybody is having such a visceral reaction to this is for two reasons. One, Mama Joyce and the entire cast of RHOA, even what was her name? I forgot her name. Marlo were all so hard on Todd. They were basically treating him like he was a scrub, like he was nothing, like he was only there for the money. And he was presenting to all of us like he really loved her and he wanted to be with her and support her and give her the love that he needed. And I feel like even though we were not married to Todd, all of us feel bamboozled right now. He wanted to prove that he wasn't a gold digger and he was doing all the right things and he was there to support her when that whole fallout with Phaedra happened. He was there to support her. He was on her team. He was being a loving husband. We were all rooting for you, like in Tyra Banks' voice, because we all were. So to be where we are now, and even though it's not a we, it's a them, be where they are now, everybody kind of feels like, Todd, really, dude? Really? After all of us wanted you guys to win and we thought you were a good guy and now you're doing this. So that's the reason why everybody's having such a visceral reaction. If this was any other Real Housewives getting divorced, nobody would care. Real Housewives get divorced all the time. People have been married for 15 years, 30 years. They get on reality TV, they get divorced. But they've been off reality TV now for roughly 2 years. But the show never affected them. She was on the show the entire time they were married, and it seemed like they were fine. I mean, Candy's go go go. So here, the other issue that a lot of people are having is that he is contesting the prenup, and everybody is going back and forth about him contesting the prenup. But if you remember those episodes of Candy getting married, she kept bringing up the prenup and that your lawyers reviewed it. My lawyer, she said specifically, I heard from my lawyers that your lawyers had some issues. Todd said, yeah, they got some issues. I got to take a look at it. Da 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 da. So this wasn't like the night before the marriage or the day of the marriage is the first time he's hearing about the prenup. You know, everybody wants to go back to that scene of him with her lawyer getting everything signed hours before the wedding. But that didn't have to go but like that. Let's rewind to the night before when he showed up at the house wanting some concessions in the prenup. In the middle of the night, showed up and he didn't even look sober in that. He didn't seem sober. It seemed like, he had gotten a little riled up and really didn't want to have to deal with this, but he wanted to talk to her immediately. He wanted some concessions in the prenup. And she held her ground and said, this is what it is. And I think the one concession he got that really made sense to me that he should have gotten was anything they did together after I think they were like a mother's love was like the starting point of them doing stuff together that he would get half of, that they would split 50-50. So the movie they did on Peacock and all that to me makes total sense. Any deals they did together, honestly, I feel like bedroom Candy, he should get 50-50 of because he has been in multiple of those bedroom Candy stuff. I know he probably had a lot of help with producing that stuff. All of that makes sense. So for him to now say to contest the prenup under the guise that ineffectiveness of he didn't have counsel and that he felt pressured, well, technically you weren't pressured because your lawyers had looked at it, told you it wasn't a good idea, and that is where you should have stopped and been like, okay, my lawyers don't think this is a good idea. I don't think we need to go on to the wedding. And even Candy said, if we don't get married tomorrow, that's fine. We'll just have a big party. That to me is not her coming to you crying hysterically, making you feel bad, using guilt. She didn't say she was never going to be with you ever again. She just said, okay, if you don't sign the prenup, we'll just have a big party, and y'all probably could have gone to the courthouse later. You know, I I always think back to the Steven Jackson story. Does anybody remember the Steven Jackson story that went viral a couple years ago about his situation with one of the girls from Basketball Wives? How they, on their wedding day, how he had kept giving her the prenup for weeks and weeks and weeks. And finally, the day of, he found out that she hadn't signed it. And somebody went to go tell her, like, hey, you haven't signed the prenup. You need to sign it. What's going on? And she ended up bursting into tears, like, fine, I'm going to sign it. I'm going to sign it. I don't know what to do. I have to sign it. And he called the wedding off right then and there because he knew her saying all that and being hysterical, she couldn't sign it because she could contest it later, saying that she was being pressured and under duress. So he just canceled the wedding. Todd could have done that. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal. I mean, the show probably wouldn't have aired, but who cares? they might have been able to get some more concessions inside of there to make him happy or make both parties happy and be able to have a happy marriage. But him contesting it now that he felt pressured and he wasn't represented, but you were represented because someone had already told you, hey, man, this is dumb. Don't do this. This is not the right look for you. You're not going to get what you need. Don't sign this. That means you had legal representation. He also wanted to sign it, like I said at the beginning, because he wanted to prove everybody wrong. Nobody cares. Dude, nobody cares that you're proving somebody wrong or not, or that nobody cares. You made that comment on that TV show that you chose to sign it against your lawyer's wishes to prove to other people and Mama Joyce that you were there for the right reasons. That's not duress from Kandi. That's not you were pressured from Kandi. That means you had some internalized issues going on that you chose to deal with and go forward with for the wedding. That's I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are just like, oh, well, she had more bargaining power. Did she though? Did she have more bargaining power in the moment? Because when you think about it, if they didn't get married, who looks worse? Who looks dumber? Kandi does. Kandi looks stupid. Todd doesn't look stupid. If they didn't get married, what does Todd lose? Yes, he maybe lose access to Kandi, but they didn't have children at the time. There was She didn't have to me she didn't have the bargaining power. She didn't. He had the bargaining power in that moment. He could have either asked for more or walked away. Kandi would have looked crazy. And Todd could have walked away. People would have forgotten about it a year later. It wouldn't have mattered. You know, and another comment I saw somebody made, they made it actually to me, was that Kandi, oh, okay, let's skip ahead a little bit. The other thing that he wants full physical and decision-making power over the kids. I believe that Todd is daddy daycare. I believe those kids are with Todd more than they are with Kandi, but I also believe that Kandi is a great mother. And I believe in the situation it should be 50-50 split because Kandi is a great mother. Her kids love her. They are not in danger with her. Yes, they may be spending time with nannies or other family members, but she should have 50-50 access to her kids. And this is the other thing that I get, and this is for anybody. No parent, unless the other parent is in prison, mentally deficient, or in a coma, should one parent have entire decision-making power over the child. I have seen other women like, well, I get to make all the decisions. I make the decisions. Why? If there is an active father in these children's life or an active mother in these kids' life, why do you get 100% of decision-making power? How is that right? How does that make sense when you have a child with two parents who I don't like that. I don't care if it's male or female or a big green dog. Both parents should have equal decision-making over a child. The other thing is the 50-50 custody. Like I said, he is daddy daycare. He is watching those kids more because Kandi does travel a lot. But I still think it should be 50-50 because she is a good mom. Now, I feel like they might be able to do it because they both are people of means. They could probably do it the white people way. And with the white people way that I've seen lately is where the kids stay in the house and the parents are the ones who move back and forth. That makes the most sense for them anyway. Kandi is going to be traveling to New York to be in a play for 3 months. Okay, fine. And then Todd stays at the house with the kids. When she's traveling home to see the kids, which she probably will do every other weekend or as often as she can, she'll come into the house, stay with the kids in the house, and he'll go to that big old second house that nobody's living in, or he'll go to his apartment. And then Kandi will leave and he'll come back. That way we're not uprooting the kids and both parents have 50-50 access to the kids. And, it just works better. I do believe that having 50-50 custody where they're traveling back and forth, that's not good for kids. Them having to pack a bag or they don't have their favorite thing at one house, but they have their other favorite thing at this other house. Give me a second. Excuse me. That's hard for children and children shouldn't have to go through that. But there's a better way to do 50-50 custody. I feel like the way that I brought up makes the most sense, that everybody has equal access to the kids. Everybody has equal decision powering over the kids, and the kids get to stay in a safe environment that they know. The last piece that I'll talk about that really annoys me is that people in the comments are saying that Kandi made all the money and Todd wasn't able to work because of the kids. That is not true. People keep forgetting Yes, Todd had that had the Bravo job where he was a production budget assistant. He was a production assistant. Fine. He made decent money doing that. Once he got with Kandi, and before he had the fallout with Carlos King, they had multiple TV series that did well on TV One. They had R&B Divas LA, R&B Divas Atlanta, and Hollywood Divas. These series didn't do great, but they didn't do bad. He then produced A Mother's Love. There was another play that he was going to produce. Then he had the movie on Peacock that started Drew Sidora. And then they had the new movie, Don't Bring Your Man to Atlanta. He's also producing that. He wrote the movie with Drew Sidora and produced that one. And then a lot of the production plays that they've been doing, he has been doing with her. He has also been traveling with her. He stopped traveling with her when all the drama basically started. So I would say like 6 months ago is when I feel like he stopped traveling with her, and being really seen in public with her. Because I don't even remember seeing him at Bravo kind of any images. So he's had the ability to work. He hasn't been strapped down by the kids because he's only been with him. He's been their only caretaker. That has not been the case. He has been working. Now, has he been working as much as her? No, but he's definitely had a busy schedule, and he was traveling with her. So it's just a weird thing to all of a sudden say, I wasn't able to work, so I need alimony. I need all these things, and because I'm only daddy daycare, when you had a whole production company that was doing well. So it's just a very, very messed up situation. I wish they could figure this out. I wish them both the best, and I feel sorry for the kids, and I hope Todd knows that by him doing this and it coming out the way that it has, he's kind of ruined his reputation in the entertainment industry, not because anything that he did, but Kandi is well loved and respected, not just in the music industry, in the entertainment industry, and now in the theater. Like she is going to be, I mean, she's been nominated for a Tony. She's done very well. And once this divorce kind of goes through, and maybe let's say he gets what he wants, he probably won't be able to work. And maybe that's part of the calculation that if I go this route or if we divorce and break up, I won't have as many doors as I would have had before. And I need the money. And that's kind of how he's doing it. Or he's just throwing everything but the kitchen sink to see what sticks. But it's just a bad look for him. And listen, drop them in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. I know a lot of people are talking about this. A lot of lawyers are getting involved. I am not a lawyer. I am just someone who has watched the show. I am someone who, you know, just don't like it when men or women get online and start this whole, you have to give me everything because we're getting divorced. I hate that. I hate when IG models marry these athletes and then they're like, oh, I deserve alimony. For what? For what? You haven't done anything. Sure, child support, great. You'll get child support. But it's child support. It shouldn't be the amount where we're raising small countries. These are kids. You're not trying to save the Ukraine. Like, why do you need $40,000 a month? Why do you need $50,000 a month? The same thing with Kevin Costner's ex-wife, who wanted some crazy amount of money a month, and I think she ended up getting it. And crazy amount of alimony. None of these things make sense. So please don't jump in my comments saying the reverse of, well, if it was a woman, you'd be fine with it. No, I get annoyed all the time when I see the child support amounts, the alimony amounts, especially with men who are already established. And I think that's why I get annoyed with the Kandi situation and Todd is because Kandi was already established. So I'll say this last thing, just a scenario. Let's say that Todd and Kandi have been married for 25 years, 30 years, because she's been famous for a long time. And they got together when Kandi really wasn't that famous. She wasn't a songwriter. People didn't really know who she was. She didn't have the star power that she has now. And he was being daddy daycare. He was doing production jobs, side note, whatever. But she was the main breadwinner. And he was supporting her when they didn't have anything. And she grew to get more as they were together. In that scenario, I would be like, yeah, you owe him alimony. You owe him alimony. He was there when you weren't doing that great. You weren't doing that famous. He was helping support the family. He was when you were in between jobs. Same thing with Tab and Chance. Tabitha Brown and her husband. If Chance decided to leave Tab or Tab did something and he wanted to divorce her, he would have every right to alimony. Why? Because it was his career that supported her when she had absolutely nothing and she was just trying to get an actress off the ground. And he was always in the background, always supporting her, always being there, even though he had a job. I'm just saying, like, if she's famous now and she did something, let's say she cheated, he would have every right to get alimony. Let's say she decided to walk on their marriage, he would deserve alimony. But again, I'm not going to go too far off on a tangent. Let me know your thoughts, drop them in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.